I remember that morning like it was carved into my memory with a knife. I was sitting in my car outside a Starbucks, halfway through my coffee, scrolling through emails before work. It was just another day, until a woman knocked on my window. She looked tired but composed, like someone who'd rehearsed what she was about to say. I rolled down the window, thinking maybe I'd parked too close to her car. Instead, she asked, "Are you married to my wife's name?" "Yeah," I said slowly. "Why?" She took a deep breath. "Because my husband has been sleeping with your wife for at least 6 months, and I have proof." I stared at her, trying to process the words. Before I could even respond, she asked for my phone number. Too stunned to think, I gave it to her. Seconds later, my phone started lighting up with notifications, text after text, dozens of them. "Those are your proof," she said. "There's months more." Then she just turned and walked away. I sat there scrolling through message after message, screenshots of conversations between my wife and her husband. Explicit, emotional, casual, cruel. I'd suspected it for months, but seeing the proof was something else entirely. I'd already kicked my wife out a week earlier because of my suspicions. This woman had just handed me the missing piece, the hard evidence I needed for court. My wife and I had been married 7 years. No kids, which, in hindsight, was a blessing. I'm 34, work in a warehouse, long hours, heavy lifting, honest work. She worked retail at a department store, always chasing the next promotion. We had a simple, steady life just outside Atlanta. 2 cars, a decent house, and, until recently, what I thought was a solid marriage. About 9 months before everything exploded, she joined a new gym, one of those CrossFit places that practically becomes a second family for its members. I thought it was good for her. She seemed happier, more energetic. She'd come home talking about workouts, friends, and the trainers. Then she started talking about him. He was a friend from the gym. He showed her new lifting techniques, helped her with meal plans, gave her tips. At first, I brushed it off. But after weeks of hearing his name every single day, I started getting that pit in my stomach. I looked him up online, married, 2 kids, smiling family photos. He looked like a regular guy. When I asked my wife about him, she laughed. "He's just a friend. Don't be so paranoid. He's married, for God's sake." That word, paranoid, became her favorite weapon. Soon, the gym sessions got longer. She'd leave before sunrise for a 1-hour class and come home hours later, sweaty and smiling, always with a story about post-workout smoothies or extra cardio. Then her phone became off-limits. Passwords appeared, notifications hidden. She'd smile at her phone and tell me it was just a meme. That's when I knew something was wrong. I started noticing small changes: new perfume, more laundry, showering at the gym instead of home. Our intimacy faded to nothing. She was there, but she wasn't with me anymore. When I confronted her, she flipped the script, accused me of being controlling, insecure, toxic. She was good at it too. I'd end up apologizing for even asking, but I kept watching. I documented everything: gym schedules, bank statements, receipts, mileage on her car. The timeline didn't add up. Then, on our 7th wedding anniversary, she skipped dinner with me for a special gym event. That was my breaking point. I canceled the reservation and called a divorce lawyer the next morning. The lawyer told me one thing: get proof. Suspicion meant nothing in court. So I got a tracking device and attached it to her car. Legal, since the car was in my name. Within a week, the tracker confirmed what I'd feared. She wasn't going to the gym. She was driving to an apartment complex across town, staying for hours. Later, I learned it was an apartment her gym friend had secretly rented, supposedly for work storage. Right. I documented everything for 3 weeks: screenshots, GPS logs, timestamps, enough to build an airtight case. I wanted to confront her, but my lawyer warned me not to. No confrontations, no outbursts. Just gather proof. Then one night she came home late, almost 10 p.m., hair wet from a shower, guilty written all over her face. I asked where she'd been. She said, late class. I pulled up the schedule. No class that night. She stumbled through excuses, then started crying. I told her I knew about the apartment. She froze. Then came the tears, the apologies, the "it didn't mean anything" speech. I asked her how long it had been going on. She said a few months. I didn't believe her. I told her to pack a bag and leave. That night, she moved out. The next morning, I called my lawyer. A week later came that Starbucks parking lot encounter. The other woman, the wife of the man my wife had been sleeping with, found me. Turns out she'd gone through her husband's phone, found my wife's contact saved under a fake name, and tracked me down through social media. She'd been waiting 3 days at that Starbucks, hoping I'd show up. We ended up sitting together inside for nearly 2 hours, two strangers connected by betrayal. She told me about her kids, about how she'd already filed for divorce. She said she wanted to make sure I had everything I needed to protect myself in court. The messages she sent me were brutal. My wife talking about me like I was nothing, making fun of me, laughing about how the warehouse guy was clueless. They called her the retail mom. They were planning to leave us after Christmas once he got his bonus. They were saving money together while still using ours. That was the part that broke me. Not just the affair, but the planning, the cold, calculated betrayal. My lawyer said the new evidence sealed the deal. In our state, adultery is grounds for an at-fault divorce, which meant leverage. We filed immediately. She tried to deny it, said the messages were taken out of context. But her lawyer talked sense into her. There's no context that makes "I can't wait to leave my husband for you" sound innocent. In the end, I got 80% of the settlement. I kept the house, my savings, my retirement. She got her car and a small payout. No kids, no alimony. Divorce finalized in 11 months. She tried to reach out afterward. Emails, calls, even showing up once at the house. I ignored all of it. What was left to say? Funny enough, the other betrayed spouse, the man's wife, and I stayed in touch. Not romantically, just connected. Like two soldiers who survived the same war. We checked in occasionally, talked about healing, therapy, life after betrayal. She told me the affair fizzled the moment it was exposed. He lost everything: his marriage, custody, reputation. My ex-wife ended up alone, still working retail, still spinning her story to anyone who'd listen. Most of our friends sided with me. It's been over a year now. I'm finally doing better. Therapy helped. So did time. If there's one thing I learned through all this, it's that when your gut tells you something's wrong, listen to it. Don't let anyone convince you you're crazy for noticing red flags. And if someone ever says, "He's just a friend from the gym," pay attention, because sometimes that sentence is the first crack in the foundation of everything you thought was real.